Hello guys, how are you? Today on this video let's talk about here the EGR system. Let's do a testing plate to verify if the modification was done correctly and also in that way preventing the failure of the system in the future like it happened on the 147. We also are going to talk and solve here about this oil leaks, okay? Here on charge pipe and here on the breather hose for the engine. To remove here the battery and the battery tray area, I already did it on the previous video, the video that I did for the leak of the exhaust manifold of this engine. It is down on the description so you to see. So next we want to reach here the charge pipe, and to do so I recommend you to take out at least the battery, and you want to take out the 5mm head ones that go here onto the charge pipe, and also remove the 13mm head one that is down on the gearbox. I'll show you in a minute, okay? In that way you can take out the charge pipe to a side. The reason why I want to take this out is to check if the EGR system is modified correctly, yes, and also to remove here this first oil leak. As you can see, this O-ring is already very squared and is not supposed to be like that. I went to a hydraulics shop and I bought a new one, and I have another one to spare, and in that way I can solve this first oil leak. Very easy to do to solve it. I will remove here this intake throttle valve to clean everything and also to check if the EGR system is modified correctly. Removing here these 5mm head screws. There are 3 of them, 2 the same size and 1 longer. The longer one is on the lower side, and it also has a bracket for the wiring. Remove the 3 to take out the throttle valve, the throttle body. The gasket is metallic one, and it is reusable. You can reuse it several times, and you can also, if it starts to sip a little bit of oil, there is a paste, a red paste by Loctite that sometimes is used on gearboxes, for example. You can put a little bit of a smidge over here. That paste will not dry up. It's a paste like the consistency of honey, and obviously you can use that on the new gasket as well. To remove the connector, just pull out here the yellow tab, and now I usually do it like this. I pull up the tab on the inside, but you can also press on here, but it is not as effective as doing like so. And then you can pull out the connector and remove the throttle valve, the throttle body. So the EGR is really, it was already modified. So you can see there is not much carbon to be on the intake manifold. Yes, the intake was not taken care of. It was not removed and cleaned out, and that is to be discussed with the customer. But yes, in fact, the EGR system, it is modified. However, I will do the testing plate just to make sure that none of the gases will go to the intake. So we have here the EGR valve. For the testing of this valve, already did a video, it's down on the description, on another 147 that I did. Okay, now what I discovered on this valve was this gasket here was missing, and some exhaust gas was already passing through, and in fact it burned a little bit here, this surface area. Okay, even using a blank, or using, like I like to call it, a testing gasket, you still have to use this this gasket over here. This is new and original because I have it in house, and I will apply this one over here and also the testing one. With the new one, what you want to do is to trace out the outside of the gasket and then cut this bit of sheet metal. This is galvanized 0.5mm sheet metal, very easy to obtain, I believe, on your case. Okay, so I just did a trace of it. Obviously we will not do a trace of the interior because we want this testing gasket to be just like what you are thinking. Okay, before doing the contour over here with I have a scissors for metal. Yeah, I urge you to do firstly the holes, because doing the holes after, it will bite you in the hand. Okay, so first do the holes. So the screws are 8mm, so you can do 8.5 or 9mm. On this original gasket, the hole is triangular for one reason. It is for the screw to hold down the gasket as you are assembling everything, for the assembly not to fall off. Very ingenious, very nice thing. So do firstly the holes and then do the contour of the metal. Using here my professional drill bits. Now I cannot get enough of them. Do the first drill. Okay, good enough. Now we have an 8-1. Here we have it, the testing gasket, and at the end I'll do the normal gasket to prevent gases from escaping here in this area. Alfa Romeo sells some different types of gaskets. So for this model, for example, it sells a CT gasket that has only 4 holes, very small holes over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can show in the picture. For the 8-valve model, it sells you a gasket with 3 holes over here, okay? And for the earlier motors, for the earlier engines, for the 156, for example, it sells you a gasket just like so. I do not encounter any reason why to take out the heat exchanger for the EGR, at least for the climate of my country, and when we are doing a correct maintenance on the antifreeze. So in this way, I will just put this in, and next put in here the throttle body. Now I will replace here the O-ring. This one is already very stiff and plastic-like, okay, and very square. And the new one is much rounder. This O-rings has to be Viton, cannot be rubber. Just like so. Put the pipe back in place. Make sure to put something on the O-ring if you want to, if you are not very confident of it. Now the 2 screws, the 5mm head ones. Before you put the screws completely in, let's take care of the screw on the lower side of the pipe. Sometimes it's not that easy, you have to force a bit the plastic pipe. There you go. And now these 2 ones, all the way. Just a breather hose to go. To take out here this smidge of oil, let's apply here 2 turns of the cloth tape to make sure that the clamp, the original clamp, can do a lot more force on the rubber hose. After starting the car or driving the car for a bit, if you have an issue, a fault code regarding EGR or mass airflow meter, it means that the modification that you perform on your EGR system, in terms of software of course, is not done correctly, because that testing gasket will tell you exactly if the software was modified correctly. Down on the description there is a lot of stuff that can and will be useful for you. Videos related to this one, related to other areas of the car, talking about lack of power, crank no start, brakes, electrical issues, solutions, and so much more. Also down on the description there are links for helps for the channel if you are able to do so. I really hope so. I see you next time, guys. Bye!